everybody, welcome to another episode of Ask Katie, where I answer your questions. Side note, please excuse the crazy hair. It needed a day off from being styled and hot ironed and all that stuff. So it looks kind of like a mess, but that's okay. We're going with it today. This Q&A is a little bit different because all of the questions are coming from my scholarship winner, Daltrey Schmidt. She was the very first Kathryn Morgan Scholarship winner, and one of the things she wanted to do was submit questions to me and I would answer them, and they're actually very good, and a lot of you ask me these things. So this is a perfect Q&A, not just for her, but for all of you. And stay tuned because in the next couple months, we will be doing another round of the Kathryn Morgan Scholarship presented by Dancewear Corner. So stay tuned for that. So, like I said, all these questions come from Daltrey, so let's get into it. Who are your favorite ballerinas? Growing up, I always loved dancers who made more out of the music, who were more than just the steps. My idols were Jennifer Ringer, Darcy Kistler, Darcy Bustle, Alessandra Ferry, Marianela Nunez. So for me, it was those kind of dancers, but I remember having a picture of Jennifer Ringer on my wall. I grew up on the video of Darcy Kistler dancing Theme and Variations, Wendy Whalen, people like that. So I'd have to say those kind of dancers were my idols growing up. How do you recommend building up stamina for a full-length pas de deux? That is a great question. I did a stamina video, which I will link for you guys, but one of my favorite ways that I see dancers do that I think works really well is to run it twice. It's not the most favorite and popular way to build up stamina, but the theory is if you can do it twice, you can do it once. Specifically for solos, if you're doing a ballet competition with variations, run it twice, guys, like right back to back. Maybe, 20, 10-second break, not long. And then one time will feel like nothing. And for pas de deux, the number one thing I can tell you is don't stop no matter what. If something goes wrong, learn how you're going to get out of it. Because if you keep stopping and you keep resting, especially with pas de deux, you're never going to have the feeling of how it's really going to be. That's what I found when rehearsing Romeo and Juliet, Sleeping Beauty. If something goes wrong, keep going, fix it at the end. The coach will make a note of it or make a mental note of it, but don't stop no matter what, especially for the guys. Boys out there, I know a lot of you watch my channel, which I'm so grateful for, and I want to start doing some videos for you guys. But men, during pas de deux training, do not stop. Tell your partner, okay, no matter what, we're going to do this all the way through. Because you need to know what it's going to feel like. You need to know at the end of a 7-minute pas de deux what kind of legs you're going to have left or what kind of arms you're going to have left. If you constantly stop and wait until right before you perform it to run it, you're never going to build up that strength and the stamina. So for pas de deux, run it no matter what. Because it's a totally different animal to do it nonstop. And then there's always the classic thing of cardio and cross training and all of that, which is really important. You need to be doing some sort of cross training and cardio training because ballet is anaerobic, so you need some sort of aerobic exercise. But honestly, guys, the best way to build up strength for pas de deux is, I would say maybe 2 weeks minimum before start running it. Don't wait 3 days before. 2 weeks minimum. You need to have 2 weeks before you should be able to run that thing. For dancers who struggle to pick up combinations in choreography quickly, this is a popular question, do you have any tips for improving learning speed and accuracy inside the studio? I did a video way back when, called How to Learn Choreography something or other quickly. Bad camera, bad sound quality those days. So you can check that out if you want. But my updated tips, number one, and this goes along with that video, you have to figure out how you learn. Are you a visual learner? Do you learn by watching? Are you an audio learner? Do you learn by hearing? Or are you a kinetic learner where you learn by doing? Once you figure out how you learn best, start there. For me, 100% visual. I can have the teacher on mute and I still pick it up quickly. And once I discovered that actually hearing the steps do not help me, like you can give me a combination, tombe, pas de deux, glissade, saut de chat, this, that, ton de cuisse, pirouette, blah, 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 and I would stand there like, what? But you could show it to me once and I would get it. I don't even really learn by doing. I have to see it. It's learning anything else. It's learning math or learning in school. Unless I saw it and you showed it to me, I couldn't get it. So discover what kind of learner you are and go from there. So if you discover, you know what, I actually learn by hearing the steps, kind of focus on that more. Focus on what they're saying and sort of tune out the visual a little bit. Because trying to focus on what they're saying, what they're doing, and trying to do it at the same time, you're never going to learn it. It's like picking up combinations in class. If you try and do it along and you're not watching and you're not listening and you don't actually learn by doing, you're never going to get it. If you do learn by doing, great, do it. So you have to start there. The next thing is music, musicality. Listen for notes. Is there an accent somewhere? At the end of a combination, is there a turn on a certain count? Oftentimes teachers will say, and then on the new phrase, we're going to do this. Music is also a good guide for that kind of thing. So pay attention to the steps with the music. Figure out how you learn. Look for patterns. Typically, class combinations, you guys, make sense. You're not going to go one way and then all of a sudden flip around and jump that way. You know what I mean? It's going to make sense. And your teachers, at least, especially with my class, my regular students know this. I always have a pattern to my combinations and to my class. It's just in me. I know, okay, next we're going to do a dégagé combination. Then we're going to do a faster dégagé combination. So start to pay attention to what your teachers are giving. Is there a pattern? And then in the studio, you'll start to get it. And that's great practice for choreography. Picking up class combinations is your rehearsal for picking up choreography. So look for patterns, start to figure that out with teachers, and then choreography will come. How do you keep motivated during long, monotonous rehearsal periods or times of the year when burnout starts to hit? That's a great question. Especially if you understudy a lot, you're standing in the back going, what am I doing with my life? Start to think more long term. Know that every dancer has had to pay their dues. We've all had to stand in the back and be the understudy. We've all had to be the second cast. We've all had to, you know what I mean, be the second girl from the back on the left. So know that, okay, I'm not the only one who's had to do this. Long rehearsal periods, especially when a rehearsal is not run well, where they might spend an hour and a half with two people and then the last half hour, everyone, you know what I mean? Teachers, that's a tip. Start with the most people and then back down. Don't do an hour and a half of two people while the rest of the cast is sitting there getting cold. And then run it at the end. Do the most people, have people leave. Next amount of people, leave. And then work for the pas de deux or the solo at the end. Don't make everybody else sit there. It's not good for them. So for me, it was about remembering why I was there. Okay, this is part of being a dancer. This is part of the life. You know, like I've said on here many, many times, the glamorous part of being a dancer is probably 8%. It's not even the 10%. It's all part of the process to make you mentally stronger, to make you physically stronger, and to show you, okay, this is what this actually is about. It's not about wearing the crown on the stage. It's about day in and day out, getting through rehearsal, sitting there all day long, being the understudy in the back. It's just going to make you stronger. And remember in those hard times, and I've said this before, that little kid that you were at 4 or 5 or however long when you were skipping around and I want to be a ballerina. Remember that kid. Don't give up on that kid's dream. And that will get you a long, long way. Remember why you started dancing in the first place and know this is just a period of time. You're going to move past it and it's going to get better. That's kind of the best answer I can give you on that one. During your career, how did you develop your own personal artistic identity on stage? Was it an aspect of dance that you had to work on and build up, or did it come naturally to you? Honestly, Daltrey, it came naturally to me. I realized very early on that I was more of the lyrical, dramatic ballerina type. I was not going to be the Ashley Bowder, can spin on my head, do 5 million turns, and do double soda basques. You know what I mean? She's the sprite, and she can do this and that and all that kind of stuff. That was not my strength. Part of it has to do with your strength as a dancer. I was never going to be the long 10 feet tall Amazon kind of person and do those kind of roles. I was dubbed as the classical dramatic Juliet Aurora. Put me in a tutu, put me in a dress, I was happy. I was not going to be the modern girl. I didn't do a lot of the new ballets at New York City Ballet. I was very much the classical girl. So part of it comes with your strength, and you'll learn to embrace it, because trying to play against type makes you frustrated. Me trying to be cutesy poo, technical, spin on my head, stars and stripes kind of girl, I got frustrated because I couldn't fully do it, because I'm like, this is not me. You know what I mean? You'll find your personality. It's kind of like how I am in real life. I dress very classically. When I was doing my IGP this weekend, judging, Matt Dibble, one of the other judges, dubbed me as Jackie O. He was like, oh, here comes Jackie O, because that's how I dress. So that's kind of how I was in my career, that's my personality. I was the classical girl. I was the kind of very, lyrical, dramatic, traditional. I was not like turny, jumpy. I was not modern and new. So it will come, and part of it is your personality. And it's the things you're drawn to. If you're drawn to jumpy, turny roles and you like being the sprite on stage, that will come and you'll realize it. You don't even know it's going to happen. I was sitting there in rehearsal one day learning something, and I remember thinking, this is not really me, and that's okay. I kind of figure out my own style, and then you just embrace it, because trying to play against who you really are is never going to benefit you. So it will come, and you'll discover what kind of ballets you like, what kind of ballets you don't like, and it was the same way for me. I loved dancing everything that I did that were my strengths. I enjoyed watching modern new ballets, but when I was dancing them, I was like, this is not really me. So you will find what your strength is. You will find what your style of dance is. It will come, and one day it'll kind of just hit you. You know what I mean? And it has a lot to do with your personality, and has a lot to do with what you like and your strength as a dancer. How do you develop confidence on stage as well as during auditions? Practice. Confidence takes practice. Confidence in auditions takes practice. And the way you practice doing that is by doing it a lot. My biggest advice for auditions, you guys, is do as many as you possibly can. Because if all else fails, you get a great masterclass with a great teacher. You know what I mean? Let's say SAB audition is coming to town. You know you don't want to really do the Balanchine thing, but you might want to try it, but it's coming right to my town, do it. You don't have to go there. Do it. If ABT is not your thing, do the audition, because they bring teachers in from the schools to do the auditions. So you're going to have a great class. I saw on Instagram the other day, Megan Fairchild is now doing a lot of the SAB auditions. Go take class with Megan Fairchild. You know what I mean? You don't have to go to school, but if she's doing the audition now, go take class with Megan Fairchild. I love Megan Fairchild. So the more you do auditions, the easier it will become. Don't do one a year and expect to have a great audition confidence and, this is going to be wonderful. You know what I mean? The more you do it, the more it will become second nature. Kind of like on stage. You have to push yourself, make yourself do it, start trusting in your technique. That's why you rehearse so much, you guys. That's why you take class every day. You take class and you rehearse so that when you get on stage, you can trust your technique and you can trust yourself, and you feel prepared. So confidence is just a matter of, make yourself go to the front of the room. Make yourself go in the first group. Do those auditions. You know what I mean? It takes time. It does not happen overnight. Even the most confident dancer in the room has insecurities. You know what I mean? That kid that pushes to the front, typically, they're also very insecure. So just make yourself do it. You don't have to be obnoxious about it, but if you never push yourself, you'll never get there. It's kind of like that saying, if you do what you always do, you'll get what you've always got, kind of thing. Maybe that was the wrong phrasing of it, but you know what I mean. So make yourself do it, practice it, and then it will become second nature. And in terms of auditions, if it's in your area and you can afford to do it, go. These are fabulous questions, by the way, Daltrey. Staying in shape during the winter breaks is especially challenging for ballet students, many of whom don't have scheduled classes or access to open studios. Are there any other activities that you recommend that can help keep dancers fit while also allowing for adequate rest time during the holidays? Brilliant question. A lot of people have trouble with this. There is nothing wrong with taking time off. We need to repeat that. There is nothing wrong with taking time off, okay? Dancers oftentimes don't take enough time off, and if you don't let your muscles rest and recuperate, you're gonna have big problems later. That was one of the things that I did very early on that I got right, is that when there was a break, I took off. I didn't take class at all. I didn't put my point shoes on every day. I took at least a week off. Now, you can't take too much time off because then you start to backslide. But a week without your point shoes, guys, maybe even sometimes 2 weeks is not a bad thing. My advice in the off season is to work different muscles so you stay in shape. I would do Pilates. I would swim. I would, maybe do some walking, because dancers, believe it or not, walking, you use different muscles. Staying active and using different muscles is a great way to stay in shape. It keeps your body in shape, but it relaxes those turnout muscles. Don't turn out. Don't, put your body in ballet positions. Pilates is great. Work parallel. And then you can start, by the end of your layoff, do some bar, to put those shoes back on and do some releves. But give your body a chance to relax. All the workouts I have on here, you guys, I have Pilates workouts, I have turnout workouts, I have bars you can do at home. Those are great to do, but I would recommend letting the ballet part of you chill out for a little bit on a holiday, and then maybe the week before start doing bar, start doing point again. So just try and get creative with how you stay fit. You don't want to sit on the couch for 2 weeks, obviously, but use different muscles. Take this time to go take a yoga class if you don't do yoga, or, go to the park with friends, or go do that Pilates, or go swim. Different muscles, keep those intact, stay active, and you'll come back just fine. I think we all get in our head about, I have to do ballet every day. I didn't ever do ballet every day on a layoff. So, and I was just fine. And I remember coming back after a layoff and feeling fabulous. And people were like, wow, you look great for just having had a couple weeks off. And I was like, yeah, well, I didn't do ballet. So it's not a bad thing to take some time off of ballet. What piece of advice would you give to your teenage self? I would love if you did a letter to your teenage self like the ones in Dance Magazine. Yeah, I would love to do that. My biggest thing, guys, and I say this all the time, and you probably get tired of me saying it, you cannot compare yourself to others in terms of things like extensions and turns and technique, and in terms of things like, okay, she did Juliet at 17. I have to be doing Juliet at 17. She got a scholarship at this age. I got to get a scholarship at this age. Or Tyler Peck got into the company at 15. Okay, I'm already late. You cannot compare your own journey to other people's, because everybody is going to be different. Trust me, you might not want my path. At 21, I got sick. So you cannot compare your path to mine. You cannot compare your path to Megan Fairchild or Tyler Peck or Ashley Bowder or, maybe a new apprentice in the company, because you're going to make yourself nuts. So do what you do the best you can do, and don't get all caught up in that. I used to get caught up in her leg is 1 inch higher than mine. She did 3 pirouettes and I'm only doing 2. You will waste so much energy comparing yourself to other people, and it's no good, because they might get injured tomorrow. They might get something tomorrow that you don't want, or they might have a beautiful role and then burn out. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen. I certainly never saw my career going like this. Initially, I was like, I'm going to retire in New York. And now I have a very fulfilling career. I get to meet so many of you. I get to talk about ballet. I have such an amazing career that I have now, that if you would have told me that when I was 17, I would have thought you were crazy, and I would have not wanted to be here right now. I would have still wanted to be at City Ballet. So, and I'm perfectly happy where I am right now. If anything, I'm happier now. So don't compare yourself in parts, in scholarships, in who got what, when, and how. You will make yourself totally nuts, and you won't enjoy the career you have, because ballet is such a short career. Don't wish it away. Guys, enjoy where you are right now. Even if you're not happy with your feet or your turnout or your body, enjoy it because it goes fast and you could have a career-ending injury, illness, something, and never get it back. So enjoy it while you can because you never know what's going to happen. Daltrey, these were beautiful questions. Oh my goodness. I think they will benefit everybody, whether you are a dancer, to be quite honest. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you, Daltrey. She is going to, I cannot wait, she is going to the Bolshoi Academy. Hello. To train, and she's going to be documenting that for us. So there will be a video on that in the next couple months. I think she's going in February. So Daltrey, we cannot wait to see that. You will be beautiful. I am so happy I can be a part of this for you. Guys, we will be doing another scholarship very soon. We would like to do it quarterly. We're trying to stay to that goal, so stay tuned for that as well. If you missed my total body Pilates fitness workout, I had to cheat and look at the title. Whoops. It's down there. You can click it to watch. Love you guys so much, and I will see you very soon.